This is Donald Trump's nightmare. He is panicking on Wednesday. He is sending email after email to his supporters like this. Please, are you done playing games? Holy macaroni. He's also making posts that put himself in his little safe space, like he's posting videos of himself golfing and saying, look, everybody, I won 36 championships. Watch me golf. It's like literally posting that. Let me show you what he's doing. We also learned that the Library of Congress deleted sections 9 and 10 from Article 1 of the Constitution on the website where the Constitution is published. They claim it was an ministerial error or that there was a coding error, but why would you just target Article 1, Section 9 and 10? That's dealing with the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus, the idea of prohibitions against ex post facto laws. We're talking about the authoritarian stuff that is prohibited. That's what got deleted. Okay, we'll talk about that in a moment. But here are the emails Donald Trump sending. Please, are you done playing games? Holy macaroni. 50 more NC, I don't know what that means. 50 more NC responses needed before my deadline. Ben, I asked my team to flag your response. Before we submit my mandatory report, I need to know, did you vote for me in November? Please don't forget to answer. Finish the MAGA poll. Folks, Donald Trump's approval right now, some polls have him in the mid 30s. Other polls have him in the higher 30s. The best polling he has right now is in the low 40s. The worst polling of basically anybody at this time in presidential history, and really across all demographics, he is seriously underwater. He then posts the following: every single person behind the Russia hoax must pay a price. The evidence is massive and overwhelming. A special prosecutor must be appointed. This cannot be allowed to happen again in the United States of America. I'm seriously done playing games. They lied. They cheated. They tried to take me down. Should I appoint a special prosecutor to expose the fraud once and for all? And folks, we know that there's a meeting taking place today at J.D. Vance's residence with Vance, with Trump, with Trump's DOJ officials, where they're going to be talking about how do they further cover up the Epstein files. It's an all hands on deck meeting as they realize that we, the people, are not forgetting, we're not being distracted, that Donald Trump is trying to cover up for a pedo sex trafficking ring by not releasing the Epstein files and by giving Ghislaine Maxwell all of these deals and immunity and preferential treatment and dangling pardons in front of her. Donald Trump posts, holy macaroni, he goes, you've just been invited to join the one and only Trump life membership. You're an impressive pal. Only the top 1% of MAGA patriots are extended an invitation to join. Accept my invitation. Get my Trump life membership. Here's what I mean when he's posting videos of himself golfing. 36 club championships? Yeah, right. The MeidasTouch network has documented these specific instances of you cheating. We have cameras everywhere. We have sources everywhere. The world saw you putting literally having your caddy move the ball for you. And there's no way that you got a 69 this past weekend at an 18-hole course, which would have been the best score in the history of anyone over the age of 70. You just pick a sport that relies on the honor system where you can cheat all the time because you are a malignant narcissistic cheater. Folks, as I mentioned before, the United States government removed sections 9 and 10 of Article 1 of the United States Constitution from their website. Sections 9 and 10 deal with the writ of habeas corpus, Congress's ability to control tariffs. You can see the screenshots below as well, what it looked like on July 1 when it was archived, what it looked like today. Tim Hannon writes, it does appear that the GOP and the Trump regime removed Article 1, Section 9 of the United States Constitution from the constitutional site. That section says that habeas corpus rights cannot be suspended. Section 9 and 10 also forbids ex post factos laws. Ignoring these is obviously full-blown dictatorship, as Qasim Rashid explains. Meanwhile, Donald Trump saying, not only is Japan going to give the United States $550 billion as a signing bonus, but Donald Trump's now saying that Japan has agreed that it will be taking an entire fleet of Ford's huge F-150 pickup trucks. So you all saw the numbers last week that Ford has lost a lot of money as a result of Trump's tariffs. Well, now Donald Trump saying, look, in Japan, they're telling me that the Ford F-150s are going to be bought by all of the Japanese. They're going to be driving around in Ford F-150s. As Spencer Akimian says, yeah, right. I'm sure that in Japan, they're going to abandon their smaller cars for Ford F-150s. I'll give you the real data points in Japan, though. My friend Tom Logan, who's in Japan, he follows all the Japanese media for us, and a great follow, by the way, on social media. He explains that now in the local polling in Japan, this is unprecedented there in recent history, 70% of Japanese people of those surveyed have now said that the United States and Japanese relations have deteriorated almost to a place of no return. And now there's even 40% basically saying abandon the United States and just pursue a path entirely without the U.S. And for close allies, that's something that is truly unprecedented. Well, Apple got the message that all you got to do is dangle fake deals in front of Trump. Apple came out with with an indication to Donald Trump today that they will commit another $100 billion to investments within the United States of America. As Spencer Akimian notes, we're 6 months in and they haven't invested $1 of the $500 billion pledge that was allegedly made before.
Life moves fast, and sometimes you just need a way to relax, recharge, or stay focused without overcomplicating things, and that's where Vaia comes in. I've been using Vaia's effect-based gummies, especially the ones for sleep. They're Dreams Sleep Gummies, and they've completely changed my routine. I'm falling asleep faster, waking up clearer, and just generally feel better throughout the day. It's clean, it's natural, and I love that I could choose exactly the effect I want. If you haven't tried them yet, you are seriously missing out. Whether it's better focus, deeper sleep, enhanced mood, or just some stress relief, Vaia is here to enhance your everyday and night. Trusted by over 500,000 customers, they use high-quality hemp and targeted plant compounds to create products designed for specific effects. It's why they're the only true lifestyle hemp brand. Not sure where to start? Take Vaia's product finder quiz. It's fast, easy, and helps you find the perfect match. So if you're 21 or older, treat yourself to 15% off and get a free gift with your first order using our exclusive code MEIDAS, M-E-I-D-A-S, at VaiaHemp.com. Plus, enjoy free shipping on orders over $100. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Products range from 0 to 100 milligrams of THC, so you can microdose or go full send, and everything is lab tested, organic, and sourced from American-owned farms. One more time, if you're 21 or older, check out the link to Vaia in our description and use the code MEIDAS, M-E-I-D-A-S, to receive 15% off, free shipping on orders over $100. And if you're new to Vaia, get a free gift of your choice. After you purchase, they ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Enhance your everyday with Vaia.
And by the way, don't you all remember when Donald Trump called in all those AI people, like one of his first press conferences in office, right? He had the top AI people. They were all standing there and they were like, we're going to do $1 trillion of investments. It was like the SoftBank guy. It was the ChatGPT guy. And it was the Oracle guy. I forget who it was. It was all of them. And they were like, we're all going to invest all of these money. And then and I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen. Not a single dollar has been invested so far yet. Because what Donald Trump does is he just announces fake deals. But Donald Trump is now announcing that he was hitting India with an extra 25% tariff for Russia oil purchases. He's saying that he's very upset that India is buying Russian oil. By the way, I mean, that's a fair criticism of India. But when Donald Trump, you are being obsequious and empowering Vladimir Putin, for you to attack Prime Minister Modi when you are one of Putin's biggest enablers and the United States has removed sanctions against Russia. I think the broader issue is that Pakistan has bought Bitcoin from Donald Trump, and they've invested a lot of money into Donald Trump's various personal companies. And Trump's developed a personal relationship with the Pakistani dictator. And I just think that India is doesn't want to do a fake deal with Donald Trump. The way the Indian parliament moves is slower than some other, authoritarian regimes, than other authoritarian regimes in general. India is more deliberate in their process. They just don't want to give him a fake number. And that's what he wants. He tell me you're going to invest $1 trillion or $750 billion. And Modi's like, we're not going to do that. I think that's the broader issue versus the Russian oil, because as you recall, Donald Trump encouraged China to buy oil from Iran. There's no additional sanctions on China as a result of China buying its oil from Russia. So it's just a chaotic policy from Donald Trump that's not really grounded in geopolitical strategy or sense. It's just he wakes up and he hears one thing and he makes a social media post. But folks, the MAGA Republicans in full force and effect. You have MAGA Republican Congress member McCormick this morning saying Donald Trump is being discriminated against on the basis of what? They said the Nobel Peace Prize Board is discriminating against Donald Trump. He's the victim, folks, of discrimination. Here, play this clip.
What he did with the Abraham Accords literally deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. And it shows you how jaded that system is and how liberal it is and how much they discriminate against him specifically. But he's been extremely effective at brokering peace.
How pathetic can you get right there? Other Republicans are getting very worried about the polling data they're seeing in generic polling. Democrats are starting to really pull ahead in the generic polling, Democrats versus Republicans for the midterms. Republicans fear that Trump's tariffs are cutting into the economy. You think it's go out there. I was at a meeting yesterday with a lot of business leaders. Every single business leader from all different sectors said tariffs are a massive problem in their business. And it's not just the tariffs, it's the uncertainty of what's Donald Trump going to do today and what's going to do tomorrow that businesses can plan. I was at a meeting with some of the top business leaders. They reiterated how difficult the tariff situation is for them to run and operate businesses from all backgrounds and all. It wasn't a political thing. It was just a business thing. They're like, we're struggling right now. And the uncertainty is crushing us. Bank of America just did a simple simulation of year-over-year core PCE inflation, showing we could cross 3% year-over-year core PCE in July, it seems, in the next report. That's why one of the reasons that Donald Trump is firing all of the people who prepare the reports. You probably know this as well, but RFK Jr. has cut funding for the mRNA vaccine. Infectious disease experts are calling this the most dangerous public health decision in 50 years. Vaccines that deal with COVID, H5N1, bird flu, and the future pandemics and vaccines. RFK said, nope, we ain't doing that in the United States anymore. We think that is phony, dangerous. The guy who's telling you to drink raw milk is out there doing that. Germany's economic minister is saying that the EU agreement's basically not real. The Germany economy minister says it in more diplomatic terms. It needs some touching up. It needs some because it's not a binding deal. There's nothing written on paper, as I keep saying. Europe's not giving $750 billion to the U.S. Japan's not giving $550 billion. South Korea's not giving $450 billion. It is all made up, folks. And finally, you have Kevin Hassett, Trump's chief economic advisor, going on Fox this morning and saying that the 2012 election was rigged for former President Barack Obama. Here, play this clip.
Numbers.
And when you say potential suspicious patterns that they're going to look at, I remember talking with you years ago about the BLS putting numbers out that could help, Democrats put questions ahead of Republicans. So how hard is it or easy is it to manipulate this data?
Well, the problem is that if you want to have statistical certainty, right, then you need to have a large number of observations that are suspicious. And And so there are certainly anecdotes that are very concerning. One of the famous ones in the literature is that right before Mitt Romney and Barack Obama were running for office for president, there was a GDP release that was really surprisingly positive right before the election. I thought I had previously briefed Mitt Romney's campaign that I thought that they're probably going to have a number that looked like a recession. And then, in fact, they got a really big, beautiful number right before the election. It probably had a big effect on the election. And then that number ultimately was revised away. And it was revised away because it turned out that the number happened because of the biggest ever, all the way back to World War II, increase in defense spending. No kidding.
I mean, that is exactly what we've spoken about. That's right.
Yes,
and that's
when
what
you
I'm
see
referring
something
to.
like that, then you got to say, no, this is not the kind of thing that should happen. Our data agencies need to make sure that the data are trustworthy and not being manipulated politically. And I'm 100% sure that President Trump has made that one of his highest priorities, that we put together a team that produces data that people can 100% trust and that people know where the data came from and can open source it as much as possible.
Unbelievable.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA Union made.